Hi, welcome back to Smarmalade Plays Autumn's Journey. Last time we met up with the captain of the guard. Well, first we had a good cry because we had been rejected by the academy / night people. And then we met up with a guy who'd fucked our mom, and he said we could take a sword test. And we got to be a knight in training, so we get a room. So here we are. I went to the lodge with the others as directed and was pointed to the second floor where I would be staying. It was essentially like an inn. Female knights temporarily staying in Oliver live here. While they remain here, they can do various tasks around the city for money or little rewards. Think of it as training for all the virtues a knight should represent, so they will be honorable and righteous both on the battlefield and while protecting civilians. Why the hell do they care about this? Why is she explaining? And of course, you'll help me. You two will be able to learn everything about Heavenkind without it getting too boring. She's assuming that they're gonna, stay for life, when all Kerr wants to do is go home. Whatever. If I didn't become a knight in training, we'd probably just wander aimlessly hoping for something to do. And I don't think Kerr's master would accept that as a meaningful experience.
Of course.
Makes sense! Is this title really that important? Yes! Kerr opened his mouth to interject, but seemed to have thought better about it. Instead, he rubbed his temples and exhaled loudly. Try to include something more battle-oriented. I don't know if fighting other Heavenkind would count as an ideal experience. I'll see what I can do. For now, let's get to that altar tomorrow and see the marketplace as well. I'm exhausted. So much happened today.
Of course.
Of course, I'll see you in the morning. Thanks. Don't oversleep, Kerr. At least I won't be poked with a stick. As Omari headed for the garden, Kerr took a step, then paused before glancing back.
Look,
What he said. Is this one of your reluctantly admitting something confessions again?
Shut up!
Shut up! It's not! Fine, it is. Don't skip that. Okay. Yeah, see, again, sometimes dialogue doesn't come up. It's on one card, but it doesn't come up unless I hit the mouse twice. I guess it's coded that way, but it makes me skip ahead when I finally get past it. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. It's okay, Kerr. It shows I'm understanding you better. Is it about the fight? Exactly. Yes, I might have acted a little harshly with you, and you were obviously feeling down. It's okay. I guess my reaction was a little immature. I'm surprised you didn't leave me there. Believe me, the thought crossed my mind, but Omari wouldn't have approved.
Oh, sorry about that.
Well, I'm sorry for snapping at you. We do seem to rile each other up. In the pants area. I'll try to be a better friend to you. Friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've already been through so much together. I consider both you and Omari friends. My words seem to have startled him. Blush you, blush you! I think that's the first blush you animation. He awkwardly mumbled a goodbye and departed. Guess that notion never occurred to him. Well, Orly, you're a knight in training now. Time to start acting like one. Isn't it time to go to sleep? Tilda! Jumping up, I entered the lodge, eager for the next day and the adventures it would bring. Chapter 6? Yeah. Knight in training! Yay! Now this is a real cave! Droplets of water echoed in the puddles as we walked carefully through the cavern. Kerr led the way happily. You sure? It looks like the last one we were in. Are you kidding? There's more tunnels, its sediments are mostly limestone, and the roof is higher, motherfucker! I'm an earth dragon!
Of course.
I'm motorboating this cave. Leave it to an earth dragon to know his surroundings. I like underwater caves. They make great lairs. Ilmari seemed cheery as well. The numerous branching tunnels made me nervous, but my companion seemed unfazed by it all. I don't get it. It's like you know where you're going. Dragon intuition? Kerr groaned, and Omari shot me a penitent look. Only the penitent man will pass. The penitent man kneels before God. We actually came here earlier, thanks to Heavenkind's help. So much for that promise to not wander off.
Sorry.
I know, but Kerr was determined, and I didn't want to let him out of my sight. However, Master Bedros wishes for him to be accompanied by a Heavenkind at each altar to prove he's not going straight from one cave to the other. And not just any Heavenkind, but one that has been there with him the whole time. Wouldn't your word be good enough, Ilmari? You're overseeing the whole thing. He shifted nervously. No. It sounds like you have no influence here. Something like that. I arched an eyebrow dubiously, but before I could question further, Kerr announced we had arrived. There was a small carved statue of an earth dragon set on a block. Kerr gestured accusingly at it before turning to me. Do they even try to make impressive ones? Think we would be pleased with this? A life-size one would be more worthy. Go humbly beg for his forgiveness. I gave him a gentle shove and stuck out my tongue. He glared, but his usual intensity had diminished somewhat. I was planning to remain where I was, but I saw Ilmari retreat to give Kerr some space. Not staying?
I'd rather not.
No. I don't want to feel like I'm eavesdropping on a private conversation. I reflected back on the argument at the first altar. It doesn't seem that personal to me, and you can only hear Kerr speak. That did not convince Ilmari, and he merely kept walking back until he had vanished around the bend. Maybe Ilmari had a point? As I turned,
Whoa.
Hey, where are you going? To give you some privacy? Did you forget already? You have to stay, you're Heavenkind. Right. I shifted my weight until I felt comfortable. I kept my arms behind my back as I watched Kerr kneel down, then close his eyes to focus. Moments later, his ears perked up. Yeah, she's here now. So picky. Yes, we left, Barry, and helped something called a carriage get to Oliver. We were attacked. Heavenkind fists are pretty useful. I covered my mouth as I smirked at the comment. From there, Kerr chronicled the sights and sounds of the plaza. Heavenkind like to prepare to do things they can't actually do for the sake of people clapping. They're driven to perform odd things. Like eating fire. Is that even edible? He also mentioned the presence of other dragonkind. He concluded his account, and after a few minutes stood up. He placed one hand on his hip as he stared at the statue, deep in thought. When I was sure the conversation was over, I approached him and leaned in. Is that everything? Yeah. Did he say how many altars to visit afterward? Thankfully, there's only a few left, and there's many around Oliver. So I leave it in your hands to get some interesting night quests.
Let's do this.
You can count on me. And I think I still owe you a visit to the marketplace. We can restock on some supplies. We rejoined Ilmari and returned to the bustling market of Central Oliver. What I thought would only take the morning ended up going straight to mid-afternoon, given how much we explored all the various shops and stalls. At the end, I was pretty much haggard. I slumped down on the bench between my companions, blankly gazing at the sky. It's like babysitting kids. Overgrown kids. Ilmari was happily clutching a small glass-blown bubble, and he had a cat mouth. He held it up, and his transparent blue surface he turned into glass. Its transparent blue surface shimmered like waves in the sunlight. I still can't believe you bought me this. I've never had anything Heavenkind made before. How could I not? You were making that face. This one? Sparkles! His expression changed, assuming the epitome of sweetness and innocence that had crumbled my defenses before. Yes, that one. Maybe he wasn't so sweet and innocent if he was using that face to his advantage. Kerr was nonchalantly stuffing his own face with various desserts and pastries. I placed a hand over my forehead before sliding it down to my chin in aggravation. I said eat a few, not all of them. At least we found something he likes. I preferred if it was something that wouldn't give him a sugar rush. Kerr pursed his lips but said nothing since he was still preoccupied with chewing. Now that we were all settled, I stood up and stretched, Argent Valere on my mind. I'm going to check the guild and see if there's any postings I can accept for tomorrow. Get something to do with fighting! I'd prefer if it was a more peaceful one. I'll see what I can do. I doubt I can find one that'll please you both. I gave them a quick wave, intending not to take long as I headed for the guild.